Good afternoon, hooligans. Bombjack here. Today we're going to go over how I do simple chat commands using Streamer.bot. We're just going to go over a real simple one today of how we set up a smack command. So it's going to be real easy where we set up a text file that's got a bunch of different lines in it that we then pull a random line from that and we smack a target with that line. So without further ado, let's go over Streamer.bot and see how that's done. As you can see here, Streamer.bot does not have a dark mode, so you're going to get flashbanged every time you open it up. They are hopefully coming out with that soon, but not a thing just yet. What we're going to start with here is these are all of my groups that I've got, but we're going to start with just a new action. So we're going to right click, add, and this is going to add us an action. Let's zoom you in here so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to do smack. Let's do it properly. Group. So now you can group this up. Type in here whatever you want. Once you've got some groups set up, then you can click the drop down and you can actually go in. We're going to go Twitch commands. Q. This is important if you've got a bunch of different sounds and non-sound commands. If you want some of them to go off without a sound, then just leave them in a default queue. If you've got sounds, I highly recommend you put them in a sound queue. That way you can have it, you know, you've got a smack, you've got an RKO, you've got a stunner, and they all, instead of going off over top of each other, they wait for one to be finished before they start the next one. So we're going to put that into sounds. Don't worry about any of the rest of these checkboxes. We're not dealing with those here today. You click OK. Now that will automatically highlight your command that you've just created. We're going to go up into triggers now. You right click, for, commands, triggered, and then it will pop up this box. Now you create a command where you name it whatever you want. So we're going to name it smack. Don't click enabled, include, leave those alone. They're going to stay checked off. Mode basic. Very important here, start. So you want this to be start, not exact, not anywhere, start. It's going to default to start. Don't change it. The only time you want to change it if you want a command that'll pop off in the middle. So one that I have is toes. Anytime somebody types toes, even if they type potatoes, it will do the toes command. And it's hilarious watching people accidentally trip that one. So now we've got commands, exclamation mark, smack. That is the thing you want the person to actually have to type to target somebody. Group, this is again just for organization. I don't organize my commands. It's probably highly recommended that you do organize them. Your options here, you can ignore the bot account, you can ignore internal messages. Those are on by default. I just leave those alone. So that makes it so if you've got your bot telling everybody what your commands are, it won't trigger your commands, which is fantastic. Persist user counters and persist counters. You can use this to track how many times your command has been used internally, and then you can then use those counters as well. Case sensitive. Pretty self-explanatory. Do you want it so they have to type smack, or do they have to type smack with a capital S? Your choice. Sources, it has some really fun interactions here. You can set up just Twitch messages. That's what I've got. If you multi-stream to YouTube, you can also use that. Whispers, and then here's the fun part, Twitch shared chat. So if you're in a collab, you can have it so that people that are in whoever you're collaborating with stream trigger things in your stream. So you can do some pretty cool stuff with that. Next thing I want you to look at is the user cooldown and the global cooldown. For commands like smack, I generally just set a short user cooldown, just prevents people from spamming it too much and filling up your chat too bad. Global cooldowns, I don't like to set on that because then I use it and then you can't use it for 15 seconds. I'd rather just I can't use it again for 15 seconds. I want everybody to be able to battle it all out. Next thing to look at is your groups here. So this is who is allowed to use it. When it's blank, everybody's allowed to use it. If you want to set up a chat command that only your mod is allowed to use, then you just move moderators over. Super easy. If you only want specific people to be able to use it, then you click on user permissions, add user, find that user here, see if anybody pops up. Yep, random person pops up. Excellent. Click on them, click select, and then bam, they will wind up getting added there. I did not click select, and I'm going to click cancel. You should click OK. I've already got a smack command in here, I believe, or I should. There it is. Smack and smack 2. All right, so smack. Okay. Let's have this zoom over to my mouse again here. There we are. So we have smack now set up. The next thing we got to do is we got to go into the sub actions. So we're going to go core, file IO, read random line from a file. And now wherever you put that text file, that's what you want to find here. And there we are. Now, the rest of that info there, the rest of this, don't touch it. Just leave it alone. You don't need to play with variable name. You don't need to parse variables, overwrite, attempt auto typing, count. Don't play with any of that. If you want to grab more than one, that's where you can use the count thing, I believe, but I haven't played with that a lot. Okay, so now we have reading a random line from that text file. The next thing we need to do is we need to find out who we're targeting. So you right click, Twitch, user, get user info for target. It will pop up this window here. Source type, you're going to change that to from input. And then you select OK. So that does, anytime somebody types in !smack, whatever's next is the target. So it's going to use that information to pull the target. Now for the chat message, you right click, Twitch, go down to chat, send message to channel. And here's where you get to be creative and have some fun. So we do %user %, just laid out %target, and then capital U for user, % with a %random, capital L for line, %, and then an exclamation mark, just because we're excited. We're always excited, right? %user does not need to be capitalized, but the %target user, you need to capitalize that U. And for random line, the L needs to be capitalized. Make sure that you do that. Now, you can change all sorts of other stuff in here. You can write whatever you need, but user is the person that used the command. Target user is the person they're targeting. Random line is that random line that you grabbed. So you do with that information whatever you want. We click OK. And now, as you see over here, we've got the random line. We've got the target info. And then we've got the Twitch message set up with our trigger. Now, if we go !smack at the Chaos Knight, it should pop up here. Bombjack just laid out Chaos Knight with a rubber chicken. So if you want to lay out all your followers with rubber chickens, only put one line in there. I mean, you don't even need to do the random line thing. You can just leave it alone. Just put rubber chicken. But the random line is a lot of fun. If there's anything else you want me to go over, please just leave me a comment down below and I will try to get to all your comments and see what we can find.